Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host for the evening, your lovely, yours truly, the one and only Vander Van Graff, tonight with his co-host, Sponsored Vocal. Come on, quickly, say hi.
Say hi. Say hi.
Oh. Anyways, I hope you're strapped in for a very funky night. I hope you've got all your hee-hees ready. You brought your shimonas. And with no further ado, let's checka right into Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. All right, Bouncer, so what do you think of this movie?
What can I say about it? It's a weird one. I mean, so basically what we're going to talk about is a movie that's essentially an extended video, a musical clip. So, what can you say about it? If you like Michael Jackson's video clips, you're gonna love Moonwalker. If that's not your thing, if you are expecting something deep and something to learn something about Michael Jackson, you're not gonna find it here.
I guess you do learn some things about him here, but it's just that he's really bad at writing movies.
Well, he wrote this film as he wrote his video clips.
Well, yeah, he's good at doing music videos, not movies.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a bit of a time capsule, because I do wonder if you are a person from, let's say you're born in the late 90s, early 2000s, and you watch this, you're like, who is this guy? I mean, yeah, I'm sure people have heard of Michael Jackson, but I don't think that people know what kind of impact he had on, especially on us in the late 80s, early 90s. I went to elementary school in that period, and Michael Jackson was like everywhere. We had like key rings, like every time a new music video came out, everyone was like, yeah, Michael Jackson has a new music video, and we would talk about that. And I don't know if people who are younger look at this movie the same way, because the first thing you see in the movie is like him going on stage, and I am not someone who has a lot with fandom, was a I wasn't even the biggest Michael Jackson fan, but if I was a fan of anyone, it was like Michael Jackson in the late 80s, early 90s. And
he seemed like a really okay guy. It's like, when you look into it, like, he never seemed like...
Well, but that's the thing, we didn't look at him like, oh, he looks like a nice guy. No, like, we looked at him like he was some being from another world.
That's how he looked at himself, pretty much, as well, when you look at the movie.
Well, but how... I don't think he did, but when you look at the movie, that is how a lot of people saw him. And I think that he knew very well how, what image...
Yeah, he knew what he was doing, of course. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of details that I'll get into later, but like, look, there's no spoiling in this movie. It's just like, there's scenes like, let's just say it like this. There's no. There's
claymation.
He just, not the claymation. The claymation is like the least weird part when you look at the entire movie. Like, it's a bit uncanny, but it's not weird. Nearly as weird as the part where he turns into a bloody car. And this is actually like Michael Jackson. It's not that he just goes into a car, he steals the car. No, he bloody turns into one.
Yeah. Why? it's a bit weird. I mean, that's basically that segment of the film is like what everybody remembers. It's kind of like 2001 Space Odyssey, where everyone recalls the scene with the computer hell and nobody talks about what comes before.
The only plot this movie has, everything else is just like his music videos and just some rehearsals, or like his
Yeah.
life till that point.
Yeah.
There's no plot to this movie.
No, but I like that part where you see kind of like his career.
Yeah, all right. That's fine for like
Yeah, and then it's
a biography
interesting
movie, sure.
also because this is his career up to the 1980s.
Yeah,
And it's
not
what you see what he had already done by then. The Jackson
exactly.
5. I think his cousin was like in one of the first boy bands in this period.
Yeah, 3T was it?
Yeah, 3T. Yeah, he even did a song with them. I did not listen to it, but I found a song that he did with his cousin's band.
Yeah.
And they were also sunk by Sony, kind of like in the wake of the allegations. And yeah, that's a whole. We're gonna have to talk about that, I suppose, at some point. But I mean, with the whole, you see what he has done. Like he had been in disco. He reinvented disco in a way. He kind of like propelled the funk genre into being. He created like the first songs that are associated with dubstep now.
I guess.
Yeah, so like he did rock, he did hair metal, you name it, and he did it. It's
Yeah. You see, kids, that's what doing Michael Jackson impressions all day does to your voice. You just start turning into him.
Yeah.
It's not something you want to do. But anyways,
Yeah.
well, he's been around, of course. I mean, he was the king of pop and all that. But the movie, I guess you could say, it hasn't aged all too well in some parts.
Well, like I said, like it's really from that MTV era.
Yeah, exactly. I know. But like you've got the part where he's playing with kids, and while I know, and to all those listening, the allegations of him being a pedophile have been proven that were wrong. Just so you know, but it's like still mainly considered that he was a pedophile. He wasn't, but well, the news never really spread that he was, that he's innocent.
Yeah.
But still, to those people, that scene has aged very bad, very poorly because well, that's like with the new generations. What have they heard about Michael Jackson? Oh, all right, so he was really popular, and then so he's been accused of.
Yeah, that he was really
diddling some
popular,
children.
and then he was a pedophile. That is probably what most people know of him.
Yeah,
right
and
now,
of course
you know.
people are believing it because well, he was different. But then again, like he was a
Well,
bit
there was
off-looking,
actually like there is a YouTuber called Razorfish. He made like a
he did an
three-part
entire video. Yeah.
yeah, a three-part video on that whole saga, and apparently there were like newspapers who had like a policy: we cannot write anything positive on Michael Jackson. So
which was really bad.
yeah, because
think
that
that's how bad that Michael
it's
did.
so yeah that was well it's very similar to what happened to Trump essentially, and
The concert, if you keep on going like that, we're gonna be fucking cancelled. Stop it.
well it's an apt comparison.
I know, but people are not gonna like it.
Yeah, well that's too bad for them. But it's he is like really the victim of it. It's also part of in part of Sony because few people know this, but like Michael Jackson was a businessman, and
Yes. Oh, this reminds me. Did you know, if Michael Jackson, some people might get offended by this. I don't care. I'm not American, but if Michael Jackson was not tired on 9/11, he could have died in the event. He had a meeting scheduled in the Twin Towers.
oh wow. Well, there's more about that event, by the way, because speaking of Sony, like I said, I wanted to tell, Michael Jackson was a businessman, and he owned like half of Sony at some point for a significant amount of time, and he also apparently owned the Beatles and Elvis catalogs as well.
Interesting.
Yes, so that he made a lot of money of that. And Sony wanted that catalog when they separated with him over, among other things, the allegations. That's one reason why the allegations were so vindictive. And what happened...
It was a smear campaign, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was absolutely a smear campaign because they wanted to force Michael Jackson basically into bankruptcy, so he had no choice but to sell like the Beatles and the Elvis and other properties that he owned. That was the plan. And what they finally did, I think it was Invincible that Michael Jackson was working on. And it didn't have a world tour at the time. And one of the reasons why Michael Jackson cancelled was that Sony decided to start it on the 9/11 anniversary, I think.
Oh. So yeah, that's bad timing.
Yeah. So, yeah. That was Sony.
Well, with him, it's also known he didn't like going on live tours and all that. He didn't like people just like the big groups and masses. He didn't like people.
Oh, he looks like an introvert. Yeah.
Yeah. He was really, as you said, more introverted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which is rather weird because, well, then again, he didn't do most of his the nose plastic surgery he did because he didn't like it. But most of the later plastic surgery, he didn't do it because he didn't like how he looked. It was because he was, first off, he was sick with lupus, an autoimmune sickness, which was basically eating him.
Yep.
And he also had a skin condition. Well, this is why he bleached his skin. He had a skin condition which would make him look like a bloody cow. So he was like, hey, I'm just gonna bleach my skin.
Yeah,
but I'm still a proud African American. Yeah, but people were like very angry at him for it.
Yeah, God.
Even he didn't want to admit it at first, but eventually admitted it, and even then people were like, he's just lying.
Yeah, well, if you look at like early Michael Jackson and late Michael Jackson, you see him just turning wider and wider. Yeah. Which, but you know, when you look at his like performances in, let's say, the 80s and 90s, they were quite, I don't know, sexualized is the right word, but like he did a lot of taking his shirt off and...
No. The only performance like that was really over the top. Well, it's not a performance. It's just the music video itself. It's like "Smooth Criminal," which is a great song, but like the music, the long.
Yeah, the Moonwalker version of "Smooth Criminal" has that weird
orgasm scene.
Weird segment
weird
inside it.
Scene. That's the right word. Orgy. It's a big orgy where people they just rub each other.
Yeah.
You know,
dry hump each other.
If they were wearing latex suits, I might have actually enjoyed it a bit. But they did, so yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, you gotta keep it kinky.
Yeah, I mean, if we talk about the movie and about, you know, if there is any story, it's the plot with Michael Jackson leaving a house dressed as a 1930s gangster. There's no context for this. Then we get like a flashback scene that seems to be taking place in the 70s.
Yeah.
And where he, you know, discovers like the lair of Mr. Big, played by Joe Pesci, who is like
one of the stupidest haircuts ever.
Yeah, it looks rather phallic.
Yes.
Which is funny because later he always wears a fedora.
Yeah, you gotta cover it up.
Yeah. So
don't forget.
It's a bit odd. But yeah, and the people in the chat, by the way, let me know, like, were you old enough to experience the Michael Jackson phenomena when you were younger? I'm just curious if you have like any memories of that. Anyway, like, he discovers the lair of Joe Pesci, Mr. Big, who is like a drug lord who wants to dominate the world or something. And then we go back into the present, where he's dressed like a 1930s gangster.
Yes, but just one moment. May I to it? A drug dealer that for some reason has a ton of henchmen equipped with above military grade weapons.
Yes.
And also has a death ray just on hand.
Yes. Yes.
it's not even the weirdest part we've gotten to yet. Like the ending, like the pre-ending performance bit is the weirdest part.
Oh, it's
You cannot explain that one. Michael just turns into a bloody robot, like a transformer.
Yes, we're running really ahead of ourselves now, but
Well, who cares? This is the entirety of the plot. Michael Jackson. You've got 1950s gangster Michael walks out of a house. A shooting squad, firing squad shoots at him. We cut back to a way too long flashback that shows how he secretly discovered the secret lair of Mr. Big. He secretly discovered. Well, it wasn't really secretly. He discovered.
While
the secret
wearing
lair
a
of Mr.
cardigan.
Big. Yeah, with the kids that were not poor at that part, but afterwards they're homeless for some reason.
Yeah, there's also something that's not clear
and
to me
after
how
that,
that happened.
we've got like 5 minutes of shots of Michael just running down alleyways.
It's good shots
and grunting.
It looks really good. You
Just
gotta
really
face it. It was really well filmed. I mean, the shots, the cinematography of this film is nothing to complain about.
It is too long, but those scenes would have been better if they added in authentic Michael Jackson grunts. Just imagine him running just hee hee, chamong chamong chamong. That would have made it hilarious. But
that
they didn't.
Would have made it hilarious, yeah.
And then we cut to, well, him turning into a car.
Yes.
Then somehow he's not a car anymore. He goes into a club, and we cut to Smooth Criminal, which is really dope. But the one orgy scene makes no sense.
Yeah, that's a bit strange.
Yeah, and also, like, just one thing with this, like 5 minutes ago to that clip, you had like Michael Jackson just friendly playing with the kids, and then 5 minutes at the end of Smooth Criminal, he's just blasting with a Tommy gun around himself.
Yes, yes. Michael Jackson goes full nuclear in this film.
You're ignorant.
It like kind of turns into into the video game Moonwalker.
Yeah, the video
which
game
was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. It was actually used to sell the Mega Drive, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Like, I've watched Angry Video Games video on it. It's interesting, but I wouldn't say. Not too good, at least. But still.
It's
like
still...
You like it.
It's I mean, I must say...
You could have been playing a Super Mario game.
Yeah, I wasn't not big in Super Mario.
Yeah, but you could have.
I mean, I could have, but I didn't like it that much.
You could have been into Sonic.
I did play Sonic, which also is related to Michael Jackson.
To Michael Jackson, yeah, he did some music for them. And even the Sonic's shoes were like based on the boots that Michael wore in his Bad video, which is rather much.
Man, really I was quite big into Sonic. I was more of a Sonic guy. I mean, I watched the Super Mario Super Show at the time.
I've been into both. Both are good, although by now the Sonic fandom has really...
Yeah, the Sonic fandom is a bit...
It's a cesspool.
Yeah, I mean... You'd think that Sonic, like, is this icon from the 90s that was made for the 90s.
Yeah, but like, look, this podcast is about Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, not the Sonic.
Yeah, but still, I mean, we're probably never gonna talk about Sonic ever again. So.
Well, yeah, maybe. Well, there's the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Which I have watched.
Well, there seems to be like an animated series of Sonic that seems to be really good.
Yeah, that the one with Sally, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not important now. But it is important. Well, yeah. To run through the movie real quickly. So yeah, we end with Smooth Criminal. They land in the secret lair of the supervillain.
Yes.
Michael turns into a transformer. The supervillain tries to stop him with the on-hand big death ray he just has lying around.
A very, very cool death ray.
Yeah. Of course, it doesn't work. Michael wins and returns back to his home planet.
Yeah.
And that's where the movie does not end, because he still just gives one more final performance.
Yeah, one or two more songs. Yeah, I think it is one.
Yeah, the second one was just like the credits, and one more on stage.
I forgot which songs they played, by the way.
I forgot. Well, but still, it's a very peculiar and strange movie. I liked watching it, but it's not a movie.
No, it's some... No, I was never bored watching this. But it's something
you're... Because it's good, but because it's like, what is happening?
Well, that too, but I mean, as a work of entertainment, it works. But
well, as a work of
if you watch it as like a movie with a narrative, no. I mean, there are like two narrative segments, which is basically like the claymation part.
That's just a tiny bit of...
Yeah.
That goes nowhere. Like,
No.
that has no story into it. It's just, oh, Michael Jackson running away from these claymation fans, and then we just cut to the gangster.
Yeah. And then at the end he then gets a fine from the police for dancing in a place where it was not allowed.
Yeah. Just makes no bloody sense.
But I mean, it works as like a morning segment on MTV. This is the kind of stuff you would see on MTV every morning.
True.
And I guess that's what is the best comparison to, you know, to know what it was like to have MTV in the 90s and put that on before going to school or going to work, and it's
MTV has really spiraled down, as much as I know.
It is, as far as I know, it's only reality TV now. I have not watched it.
No, it's just like stuff that I've heard around.
Yeah, but I mean, this is kind of the thing, right? Because the difference between now and then, if you wanted to hear like special things, you needed to listen at particular times to We Had TMF.
I wonder, has like Rammstein ever been on MTV? Sure.
Yes. Most
probably
definitely.
Late night hours.
No, I don't think so.
Well, that would be rather stupid, actually, because
No, I think
at like 2
I've
a.m. in the
seen like
morning?
Ich will Ein, Zwei, Drei on MTV at the time, and TMF at the time, yeah.
Wait, which one is that? Wait, is it? That's not.
And then again, I live in the Netherlands, so we
yeah,
were never that squeamish with things like
unlike
that.
Germany, bloody pussies banning like what was it? Yeah, Liebe ist für alle da, love is for everyone, because it has BDSM in it. Oh, the German government is full of pussies.
Oh, God.
They banned the swastika in Wolfenstein.
I think it
A
was
game where
banned
you're
in more
literally
places,
shooting
but
Nazis and killing them brutally, which is really fun.
yeah, I what can I say about Germany? I
Let's
know,
not forget censored Hitler in those games.
but you get to shoot them in the face though.
God,
Oh well.
it's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Germany, stop running away from your past. Either say, hey, we're sorry, but it happened, we can't forget it. Or, I don't know, go exactly the other way, embrace it. I don't know, that probably wouldn't be good, but still.
No, I mean, they embraced it in other ways. But
Yeah, well, yeah, the right-wing party is still there, and there's still a lot of Nazis in politics there, which is really interesting. They've been exposed, by the way. German politics, I'm not too much into them, but I know just some basics here and there, like stuff I've heard.
yeah, well, I don't listen to European politics at all.
Yeah, I've heard.
It just makes you really, really depressed.
They're way more interesting, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess I like the commentators a lot more.
Because I don't think I'll ever move away from this continent. I like it a lot. America is all fussy-wussy. If you put out a yogurt for 700, well, not 7, how long was it? For 300 years, it would have developed more of a culture than America.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong on that. Even Americans will agree.
I don't know about that, but anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, Moonwalker. But what else is there to say about this film? I mean,
It's a classic. It's not something you can talk about long enough because, well, it's just like talking about the music video. It's just a long music video with some random plot mixed into it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I kind of banked that I would recall more about Michael Jackson at the time, and the phenomena that he was. I'm kind of disappointed in myself now, to be honest. Like, I'm glad I seen it again, because it did resonate with me on a very personal level.
Well, me too. I watched it when I was a kid, and it was really dope. Like,
Yeah.
It was really cool watching it. Like, my family was, well, most of my family members were also really big fans. Like, it even goes back to my grandfather here. He also liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love
the thing with Michael Jackson, because he had this legendary image, unlike any celebrity we have today. Like, his death really marked the end of an era of a particular brand of celebrity. Like, now we have celebrities that, like, their claim to fame is that they do, like, a very explicit dance during some award or another.
Oh, yeah, of course. Good old
Or
Cardi
because
B.
of a Twitter spat they are having.
While we're on it, can we just take a moment? Can I just personally take a moment to express my hatred for the brain fart that is Cardi B, and the fact that she, like, call me jealous, I guess, but the fact that a woman as set back as her can get that far in life, well, actually that motivates me, because I know, hey, if she can make it, I can too. Like, have you ever listened to that woman talking?
No.
You can't make a single thing out of a sentence when she says it. She sounds like she sounds like what most people sound after going to the dentist and getting like heavily dosed with laughing gas or the nitrous oxide. Is it nitrous? Yeah, nitrous oxide.
What can I say? I mean,
Oh, and also WAP. I'm not gonna say what WAP means. I hate WAP because you can't say WAP when you mean WhatsApp anymore. Now you mean the song that's explicit. That song is disgusting, repulsive. There's nothing good about it. The lyrics are horrible. If you listen to this and enjoy it, what is wrong with you? Sorry if I'm offending you, but that is not good music.
no, but that's the thing. I mean, I don't even listen to all that stuff, so
What kind of
it's
images?
the type of music people listen to when they're in a store.
I know, not even in a store. No, you wouldn't listen to that in a store. No.
Well, because it would be played over the radio just that the store is on.
Do you want to know what the WAP means?
I don't, and I don't care, quite honestly.
Yeah, it's better because it's extremely inappropriate. And like, what kind of images are we setting for our children? Like, when Michael Jackson was around, oh, people were like, oh, he's really cool, he's good at
Vander,
dance.
you care about the children now?
Well, partially, I don't care about my children, but I care about future generations partially. Like, I want to be a good image. I want to be something that the kids can look up to.
Yeah, true.
Not these idiots that are just twerking around on stage.
Wasn't there like, didn't Cardi B say, I wouldn't let my children listen to this?
Possibly, I don't know. But then again, well, look, maybe I'm approaching this from the wrong perspective. Look, it's not Cardi B's fault, because then again, you've got bands like Rammstein that are also making really explicit music. Maybe I've been a bit harsh on her now. I shouldn't blame her, but I should blame the dumb parents that are too incompetent to actually take care of their kids, to not let them watch this stuff. It's stuff like this that makes things like Cuties, the Netflix series, happen.
I don't know if that's true. I also think that flopped, but
Well,
mean,
of course it flopped. It was basically children, underage children, like 12-year, no, not even 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, twerking in hot pants.
yes.
If it was a success,
true.
I'd blast my brains out.
Yeah, there are some dubious characters running around. That's one thing that's for sure. And yeah, but I mean,
Let's go back to good old Michael because I actually like him.
yeah.
People, don't take me wrong. When I do the funny hee-hees and shimonas, it's not me making fun of him. It's just I love those things. Do you have any musician nowadays that has specific grunts associated to them?
Michael Brown.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, well, like Billie Eilish as well with just duh from Bad Guy. But other than that, no. But come on, no one has the amount of grunts that Michael carried with him.
Now, that was kind of what I wanted to comment on. I mean, the only band right now that I know gets referenced in memes a lot is Sabaton. With their, and then the Wingtusars arrive. And that was a terrible expression of that. I mean, Sabaton is probably the only band I currently know that has, like...
Sabaton, well, it's memeing a lot. Well, it's not that they are memeing, it's just people are taking it for memes. It's just like, haha, funny World War II joke, which can be funny. Like, Bismarck at motion. Oh, no, wait, it's Bismarck in motion. Yeah, not at motion. My mistake. But still, it's decent music, but I get where the memes come from because it's still better than anything you'll find on TikTok.
I don't even understand TikTok, and then
no, I don't want to. Like, I get it partially. Like, okay, it's for like, well, our attention span is so or so that for most.
Like,
for
I
the
know
younger
there are a
generation.
lot of cosplayers on TikTok.
Well,
doing
partially,
things.
but then you've got like, it's not cosplayers. You know, like people that actually put effort into their cosplays. It's most of the time stuff like with Twitch, where you've got cosplayers. Mainly women, because if you're a man, you'll get banned. Wearing very skimpy outfits. Which are well, I guess they are cosplays for some characters, sure. But still, we all know why you're doing it. It's really obvious. And you know what? I can't blame you. It's the stupid men that are paying you. So you're just taking advantage of them. To which I say, good on you, love.
Yeah.
You're making money over that.
Yeah,
but
capitalism.
Remember, but yeah, remember. Look, I'm not gonna shame you for being basically a sex worker. No, I don't care about that. But remember, if that's the only thing you're good at, in 5 to 10, well, not 5 to 10, well, in maybe 20 years, you won't be pretty anymore. You'll be old and scrawny.
Yeah,
and then
you'll be replaced.
Not many people will want you anymore.
Yeah, there's some interesting characters working in the porn industry, but again, we digress from Michael.
People nowadays are so horny. God. We've just completely wolved off topic here, but nowadays the youth is just way too horny. It's like with K-pop stands and all that. They're just overly horny. Like, bloody hell, why do you want to have sex so much? We're just 14 years old.
Well, a matter of fact, young men have never had this little sex in ever, so...
Oh, well, you could...
Yeah, the average incel is now, like, is reaching 30 now, before young men have sex for the first time, yeah.
Oh, well, thank God I won't have... I might have that problem, but not on the same aspects. Not on the same color ratio. Wink, wink. But still. Yeah, it's really interesting. But so much about that. We could ramble about this much more.
Well, what I find interesting is that with the advent of the internet, like, it's impossible to create, like, celebrities like Michael Jackson, I think. Because there is no such thing anymore as, you know, genuine pop culture. Because back then, everything, if you wanted to be a artist, you needed to go to the proper channels. You needed to have, like, be
You
associated
needed to
with
be
a record
talented,
label.
actually. You actually need to have talent. Nowadays, you can just record a video of you in 3
No,
seconds. And you're
I
a
don't
celebrity.
think that's true, because you had like a lot of like studio bands that only recorded their songs in studios and then they would like play back on stage. I mean, Britney Spears is, I think, and I think Michael Jackson and Britney Spears did collaborate at some point, but I think they were becoming like that type of celebrity was like becoming a turning point where celebrity started to become a target for, you know, general mockery. You know, well, also Britney Spears was like the early internet era, so people started to get these outlets to easily pick on people. I think that's Michael Jackson also like caught the last a bit of flack of that.
He's being mocked, but it's just that he's not alive anymore to
He's absolutely like mocked on the internet, but I mean, he was not like. It's not the same, because I don't know if someone like Michael Jackson could have become like the icon in the internet age as. I mean, you know, everyone like has their own selections of pop culture icons now.
But yeah, the thing is, nowadays the online market, it's oversaturated pretty much.
No, it's not so much oversaturated. Like when I want to listen to when I wanted to hear metal, when I wanted to hear new metal bands, I had to go to MTV and listen what was on there. That is how I got in contact with.
We're oversaturated. It's so much harder to actually become something.
Yeah. Anyway, I was like listening to things like Green Day. That is how I got into punk, and you know, from there I finally met someone who was like inside the punk scene, who could give me like other bands like Agnostic Front and Pennywise and Bad Religion. You would not hear that on like MTV. So you needed to know insiders to get to certain particular niches of music. The same went for metal at the time. And now, if I want metal, I can just go to YouTube, look for metal, and I can like get nightcore and like what is the opposite of nightcore? There's I forgot what that name was, but
I want to listen to nightcore.
I like it, but
it's just the same song, high pitched.
Yeah, I know, but I like it, and it's.
I'm not gonna comment on that.
Yeah. And it's you know, you can then listen to hundreds of hours of metal. That didn't used to be the case. So you know, people do not get. I don't even know what modern day pop culture music is. I have no bloody clue. I never listened to it. So only when like, there was a period that I knew, but that was because I was working in a thrift store. So we had like music on all day. And I would listen to the same music over and over again during the day. And now it's I don't think a sensation like Michael Jackson could exist.
Yeah, but that reminds me, like, oh God, I think I've lost my train of thought here, but with all the, like, I think the last times there was actually something good in the trending tab, like good music in the trending tab. The last song that I remember that was like, well, probably Bruno Mars's Uptown Funk, but before that, Psy's Gangnam Style. I think everybody remembers that from 2000.
Yeah, but that was originally an internet meme that Dan blasted into the charts.
Well, it's not that it was a meme. It's just that people.
Oh,
really
it was a meme. I mean, no one took it seriously.
Well, it started being memed and parodied, but still, it was really popular. Like,
yeah.
The whole music video is over the top explosions, just.
Yeah, and the dance.
And the dance, and like, there's a scene where he's just at the toilet, sitting on the toilet with his pants down.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Really,
mean, no one understands the context of Gundam Style and what it stands for, but
like the translation is something like horse style, like galloping or something like
no,
that.
the Gundam is a segment, is a portion of the main capital, I think, that is very well known for the nouveau riche. You know, and people who overspend and live above their station. And that is
Uh-huh.
basically what he's parodying. That's why he's throwing the money around and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're talking about so many musicians that aren't Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I mean, he was a major inspiration on Lady Gaga. I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, just another fun fact for. Well, I'm just gonna list some fun facts about Michael Jackson here. He wore white socks and with a shiny glove and white spats to make the light reflect off of his feet slash hands with the glove, so that it would drag the viewer's attention to those parts. Also, another interesting thing, he liked to just confuse his fans by like wearing the armband or like having his fingers taped. And one
Right.
last interesting fun fact, there was a surge in popularity for the fedora when Michael started wearing it. And many people don't know the reason why he started wearing it. For those that don't know, he was doing, I think, a Pepsi commercial where his hair caught on fire. It was really messy, it burned him a lot, and he used a fedora to cover it up. Just so you know. That's why he wearing the fedora.
Yeah, he suffered for his art. Well, of course, as we.
Life. Poor man. Like, his childhood was horrible. He basically had none. He was just constantly singing, dancing, like the Jackson 5.
Jackson 5, yeah.
Yeah, no wonder he was very, well, childlike when he grew up. With certain things and a bit effeminate, you could say. Because,
There is a fun thing that was constantly mentioned in the accusations in the trials was that children slept in his bedroom. What they didn't mention about that bedroom was that it had several stories.
Yeah.
It was like a small palace into itself.
That's just like the small loophole you find, like, well, it's a bedroom.
Yeah, they were sleeping in the same bedroom. Yeah, he was friends with Macaulay Culkin and known from the Red Letter Media.
I can just imagine Michael in court, like, damn it, should have called that thing living room.
Yeah. Well, they would have made something else up. But another thing was that some other celebrity, I forgot who told it. I think it was an R&B singer. He told him that Michael Jackson had hidden doors inside his mansion,
Oh yeah, that's
like
smart.
fireplaces that were secret passages and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. And he would then scare them, sneak up on them because they didn't realize there was a door there, and he could sneak up on them. So he was that kind of guy, and
He was childlike, as I said, a lot of pranks and all that, but yeah. He was by no means naive or anything.
No. I mean, he must. He was very clever. For example, he was looking for a particular doctor that wanted to give him a particular type of drug, and he found one who had a checkered past, so he had leverage over him, so the doctor would shut up if anyone started to ask questions.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he was a sly one. And there were other things, like for example, he invented the moonwalk somewhere in the 70s, but he did not reveal it until the 80s.
Yeah, and the thing is with the moonwalk, it's actually really easy to do. Perfecting it is another thing, but it's not that difficult. Probably just look up any video online how to do the moonwalk and probably learn it in 5 minutes. That's what I did. It's really easy. You just need you need to be wearing socks, or very slippery shoes, and a very slippery.
Yeah, well, that's another thing, how he markets his dancing style. Like,
We're at it. Speaking of shoes, he actually, with Smooth Criminal, he wore special shoes that would that were like built to, how do you say, to anchor into the stage, so you could do that like 45-degree lean.
yeah, that incredible 45 degree. I was wondering, like, is that real or is that a special trick? But no, that's a thing they did, and it looks impossible.
It's actually practical effects.
Yeah. And what else is there? Yeah, so yeah, his dancing moves were legendary. Everyone knew the Michael Jackson dancing moves, the spins, the moonwalk, the one where he grabbed his crutch, which was often parodied.
Yeah, also, what related? Just to mention, for others interested, there is actually a Michael Jackson lookalike, which looks like a lot like him. I'll edit some images later on when I'm editing this, but for all those watching right now, look up Sergio Cortez. That's Cortez with an S. Michael Jackson lookalike.
Yeah. Yeah, there are quite some imitators out there, I think.
Call him an imitator, but like he literally looks like him.
Well, something we also maybe we should have done some research into that is like the various video clips. Like these were like all of them were like these huge sets and art pieces with very yeah, like all of them were like of epic scale, where they would have like entire court sets. And stuff like that, and things would get destroyed and explode, and that was always like people were always excited to see new Michael Jackson movie clips get out.
So I didn't think I would talk about this as much, but I have to make a little side tour to actually note a bit about his wardrobe, which is well, it's extremely eccentric, as most people know, but it has a lot of inspiration of like classic menswear and like even the Baroque period and all that.
Well, it's also well, I don't know if militaristic is the right word, but
militaristic coat, yeah, with epaulets and all that, yeah.
And yeah, he would also wear like something that resembled munition belts and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have to say, later on in life, like all of his outfits became a lot more flashy and shiny, which was not my style.
Well, he was the king of pop, and he dressed that part. Like when you saw him in public, he always looked like royalty.
Well, that's questionable, but something like that. He was rather well dressed, and he even wears wing color, like to court, for example, which is really interesting.
Well, I mean, look at some images of like the big galas where he comes, and then look at like he wears a lot of like silver, and gold, and
fucking hell, my voice is in the shitter today. God, Michael Jackson impressions really don't do your voice good. Fuck hell. But yeah, like what you were talking about. So yeah, like he's very flashy. And I remember, like, I think it's Steve Harvey. Like, Steve Harvey in like all those parts of like where he was well, with all the pedo accusations. Steve Harvey actually reached out to him. Like, you know who Steve Harvey is of a Family Feud. The black guy with a mustache.
It rings a bell, but I'm not that.
Black guy with a mustache that looks like Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story. That's not racist, it's what he looks like.
Let's see. Steve Harvey?
Yeah, Steve Harvey, if I remember his name. Yeah, it's Stave Harvey. The
black
guy from
him?
Family Feud.
Well, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was once doing stand-up about Michael, and he was like, he asked him to go with him to church. Well, both were rather religious, which is interesting. And Michael was like, all right. And so Michael, like, well, his first outfit, he shows up, and Steve Harvey put it like, man stepped out looking like Captain Crunch.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that one, yeah.
Bloody Captain Crunch. And yeah, so this is interesting, and like there's some interesting outfits now that well, I'll send you this picture. This is something that I haven't seen Michael ever wear, but seemingly he did. I'll edit it in later. Do you see that? The one on the right?
With the gold...
No, on the right,
Oh, the white one. Huh.
Yeah, look at the shoulders of that thing.
I don't recall that coat, no.
Me neither, probably wore it.
But it looks very 80s.
I love 80s. Like, I love the lapels and like the main structure, but the shoulders, fuck, bloody hell.
Yeah, it looks like he escaped from the Jetsons or something.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, really
what he wears
there,
beside that is also...
Yeah, that's also a really good outfit, but damn, like, look at him. He was, like, Lopez was really eating him away.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Look, he's really skinny.
It isn't like, yeah, he's in the other photo, the more colorful photo, like his nose there looks like bloody exposed to your nose bone.
Look, ignore all the V's that I put there. I'm using push start, but look at this outfit. This is also one of his outfits that he was wearing, which is also rather.
Oh, that looks marvelous.
Yeah, I love the color. The color.
Yeah, that's a lovely coat. I also love the waistcoat, by the way.
It's really flashy, but it looks great. And again, the armband though.
Yeah, is that armband part of the sleeve or?
Part of it, like sewn in.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. Yeah, he had some impressive clothes, no doubt about it.
He had a lot of money for them as well.
I'll bet, but I don't think money was an issue for him.
Yeah, especially.
He probably added a 0 as a tip.
I'm just gonna add this 0 here.
Yeah.
Take it.
Oh man, like when you hear him speak during interviews, it's like it's the most soft and polite voice you can imagine.
Pretty much, it's really effeminate.
It's really effeminate. You're just ignorant.
You're ignorant. I want Michael Jackson ASMR.
It's quite
bloody. But he also like wearing like here. He also like very flashy things like this here.
Let's see.
Like look, brooch there.
Oh wow, that's a big brooch.
Yeah. Brooch. I don't want to put it.
Brooch. Yeah.
But yeah, like,
that is the armband is also sewn in here.
Yeah. And here's the Captain Crunch jacket.
Yeah, it looks authentic.
Yeah, it looks like an original. He probably like had people look at how they looked and like just like the broke period, and it's really well done. Yeah. I really like these jackets.
Yeah.
There's also this one.
Did you send something?
Yeah, just one moment. Discord is being a bit meh.
No, okay. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have a look at this last coat, and then I think we can call it a day.
But yeah, like this one. This is the one we wore at the end of Leave Me Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't wear those things without like a proper cravat or something like that. But still, they're really bloody beautiful.
Yeah. He knew his tailors, but like I said, Michael really cared about his image. I mean, he was a businessman. He created that image by himself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was also the producer of Moonwalker, by the way. Which
Yeah,
probably
I
explains
so.
a lot of the weirdness that's going on, but...
Yeah, he's not one for movie making. He's one for, music video making.
Yeah. Did you know he tried to rap as well?
Yeah. But yeah, after this, I'll probably have a Michael Jackson marathon just listening to some of his music.
Yeah, I probably
stuck in
will
my
do
ear
that
now.
too. That's probably a good one.
But yeah, I think that's all. We've been talking for like 55 minutes.
Yeah.
A bit. Well, we've been all over the place with this episode, and
Oh,
we've had
yeah.
lows and highs. But yeah, is
We
there anything in the
have.
chat? Anything anybody wants to tell us before we leave?
Yeah, the quad has been very inactive tonight. That's
Oh, well,
unfortunate.
you have. Well, I mean, it's not really a steampunk movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like us just being nostalgic about Michael.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do have to wonder, because with all the Baroque that he wore, he must have had a tremendous impact on steampunks. I mean,
Well, maybe partially.
I mean, it may not reflect directly into what they're making, but I mean, for
well,
their
it's still
formative years.
It's still retrofuturism after all.
Oh man, well, I mean, if you look at him, like all the historical inspired stuff that he wore and all the historical references in his films.
Quite a bit, but still. Yeah, it's really interesting. But I think that would be it for tonight.
Yeah. So, sorry for the rather rambly episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it regardless. Please let us know, like, your own memories of the King of Pop. And in case you are into steampunk and you're listening to this, you know, did the King have an influence on your work? I know he's not, like, talked about, like, Elvis Presley, who's often more associated with...
Yeah.
But,
well, with like Fallout.
Yeah. That is true.
True, yeah, but what I want to say is join the Discord if Monsters hasn't noted that already. I'll go for it.
There's gonna be updates on the book and the comic there in the coming weeks.
Exactly.
Art is being produced as well, and yeah, we are looking into trying to like kind of brainstorm ideas for possible Kickstarters if you people are interested in that as well.
So with no further ado, I'll let you do the outro, Monsters, but you have to hit us with a Michael Jackson before
All right.
Like a good
All right.
one. Like,
So in that case, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna bid you adieu, and of course, as always,
Shambone. Lovely.